Hi, my name is Dari Parba from the University of San Carlos. I would like to ask Gov Ben the following question. Price pressures remained manageable in 2020 with headline inflation averaging at 2.6 for the entire year. In 2021 and in the years to come, is it safe to expect a positive development in this aspect?
Yes, inflation will remain manageable for both 2021 and 2022. Based on the latest BSP forecast, inflation is expected to slow down in the second half of the year, bringing down the 2021 full-year average inflation to the upper end of the government's target range of 2 to 4%. For 2022, inflation is projected to ease further and settle in the middle of the 2 to 4% target range. So far this year, inflation averaged 4.4% from January to May, but higher inflation over the past several months have been mainly due to the tight supply of food commodities, particularly pork, due to the African swine fever. In addition, rising world oil prices have contributed to higher inflation. The BSP, through its conduct of monetary policy, can help reduce future inflation, but only if pressures are caused by rising demand. At present, however, prices are due to supply factors. This can be addressed by non-monetary intervention.
My name is Hannah Clarice from Bat State U Economic Society, and I would like to ask Governor Ben the following question. In the midst of pandemic, what is the significant role of Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas in our economy and country as a whole? Thank you.
Thank you for your question, Hannah. At all times, but especially during times of crisis, having a stable financial system that supports production activities and consumption is crucial. The COVID-19 pandemic has heightened the BSP's role in preserving the stability of the Philippine economy and the financial system. First, it extended short-term loans to the national government to help the national government finance its COVID-related activities. Second, it directed banks to extend grace periods for loan payments to provide relief to borrowers from March 8, 2020 to December 31, 2021. Third, it temporarily relaxed certain regulatory requirements for banks, so they in turn can manage the impact of the pandemic and this allowed banks to be more capable of extending loans to their customers at a critical time. Fourth, the BSP cut its own policy rate to record lows, thereby influencing banks to cut interest rates they charge their customers. Fifth, BSP reduced the reserve requirement, that proportion of deposits that banks are supposed to keep as reserves, so banks have more available funds for lending. In sum, we have released 2.2 trillion pesos into the financial system.
Good day, my name is Joy Tukay from Palawan State University, and I would like to ask Governor Ben the following question. My question is, since the micro, small, and medium enterprises are one of the foundation of our economy, what are the measures and action of Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas to support them? Thank you.
Thank you, Joy, for raising a very important topic. The BSP raises high priority on MSMEs. In the first place, MSMEs account for about 99% of all firms in the Philippines. They also account for about 2/3 of total employment in the country. That's why they are very important. In response to the pandemic, the BSP issued several regulations that encourage banks to lend more to MSMEs. These include an unprecedented temporary move by the Monetary Board to recognize bank loans to MSMEs as part of compliance with the BSP's reserve requirements, or the proportion of deposits banks must keep in reserves. Also, the BSP has supported the Credit Surety Fund program, under which funds are pooled from various sources to provide collateral loans to MSMEs.
I am Venson L. Bautista from the PUP College of Accountancy and Finance Student Council. I would like to ask Gov Ben the following question. What are your thoughts about the recent proposed amendments to the AgriAg Law? And will it really be beneficial to the farmers? Thank you.
Thanks, Benson, for your question. The BSP is strongly pushing for amendments to the AgriAg Law. This reform is designed to assist the sector in recovering from the impact of COVID-19 and natural calamities. The proposed amendments will pave the way for programs that will improve the bankability of farmers and agri-enterprises by building their capacities and modernizing their business operations. The amendments seek to expand the coverage of rural community beneficiaries to include agriculture workers, household members, enterprises, and organizations. A special fund will be created for capacity and institution building programs of organizations of rural communities beneficiaries.
Hi, my name is Josh from the University of Asia and the Pacific, and I'd like to ask Gov Ben the following question. What is the rationale for imposing the limit of 5 digital banking licenses annually? Does this outweigh the benefits of faster growth and increased competition that will be beneficial for consumers? Thank you.
Good question, Josh. The BSP needs to strike a balance between promoting an enabling environment for financial innovations on one hand and ensuring safety and soundness of individual financial institutions and the entire system, as well as protection of consumers on the other hand. The limit on digital banking licenses allows the BSP to assess the financial performance of digital banks, their impact to existing banks and the banking system, and their effectiveness in achieving the BSP's financial inclusion goals. That said, the limit on digital banking licenses can be modified or lifted by the Monetary Board as new evidence become available.
Hi, this is Princess Daima Sangkay from Batangas State University Economic Society. I would like to ask Governor Ben the following questions. How the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas will help the Filipino to adapt to this transition of cashlike society, and what are the impact of this transition to the Philippine economy? Thank you.
Thanks, Diane. The BSP recognizes the importance of creating compelling digital payments use cases to boost awareness and increase acceptance and use of digital payment services. Based on the results of the Better Than Cash Alliance diagnostic on the Philippines, payments to business or B2B transactions are the most viable use case that would boost digital payments adoption. Thus, payments to merchants, periodic bills payments, and payments to suppliers are our top 3 priority payment streams. These are areas that we focus on in the BSP's digital payment transformation roadmap. Digitalization has immense potential to help us achieve our lofty goal of having a stronger, more inclusive, and more technologically advanced economy.
My name is Jessa May Migrino from Region 7 Federation of Junior Philippine Institute of Accountants, and I would like to ask Gov Ben the following questions. How would the establishment of the Digital Payments Transformation Roadmap for 2020 to 2023 help strengthen our economy? What are the efforts being done in order to improve the digital financial literacy, especially in rural areas?
Hi, Jessa. The BSP's Digital Payments Transformation Roadmap 2020 to 2023 sets out our initiatives and strategies for achieving an efficient, safe, and inclusive payments ecosystem. It supports the objective of converting at least 50% of the total volume of retail payments into digital form, and the onboarding of at least 70% of Filipino adults to the financial system through ownership and use of a transaction account. The BSP is working closely with development partners in identifying and providing strategic support in the form of technical assistance and technology transfers, or technology matching grants rather, to improve financial services for rural communities and other unserved sectors. The BSP also continues to work on a more targeted e-payments campaign and digital financial literacy program.
Hi, I'm John Curtal Ibibo and I'm from the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Manila, under the College of Accountancy and Finance. I would like to ask Gov Ben about the following question. How can the national ID system contribute to digital transactions? Further, can the Philippine identification system reach people in native communities? Thank you and God bless.
Thanks for the question, John. One of the reasons why many people do not have bank accounts is the lack of proper IDs. With the national ID, we make it easier for people to open digital or non-digital financial accounts. This will unlock many financial opportunities for a vast majority of Filipinos. Having a proper financial account gives them access to credit, investments, and other financial services. With a Philippine ID system, everyone, rich and poor, those in urban centers and rural communities, young and old, will be accounted for.
My name is Mayet Yarte from Polytechnic University of the Philippines, College of Accountancy and Finance. I would like to ask Gov Ben the following questions. Is it possible that personal finance might be taught in primary school and become part of the basic education? If that's the case, what initiatives does the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas have in place to promote financial literacy?
Good question, Mayet. Yes, it is certainly possible. As a matter of fact, the Department of Education already issued Department Order Number 22 last June 3, 2021, which mandates the integration of financial literacy lessons into the K-12 curriculum. The BSP provided technical assistance in the crafting of this financial education policy. We also work with the private sector partners to develop lesson plans and learning tools that support the full implementation of this policy.
Hello, my name is Odyssey Abuol from Ateneo de Davao University and a member of Pigla Sapat, and I would like to ask Governor Ben Jokno the following question. Governor Ben, is it possible for the Bangko Sentral to issue CBDCs or central bank digital currencies as soon as possible, given that we're projecting a more digital economy in the next following years?
Hi, Odyssey. Like many central banks in the world, the BSP is closely monitoring developments that involve the issuance and use of privately issued or CBDCs. Results of the recent BSP study on CBDC indicate that at this point, the BSP needs to continue its research on the subject. It needs strengthened capacity building of its own staff, and it needs to establish networks and partnerships with other central banks and institutions that are undertaking similar studies. These activities are essential in fostering greater understanding of the operational issues, challenges, and the technology behind CBDCs. That said, BSP is not keen in issuing its own CBDC anytime soon. Let me assure the public that any future policy decision by the BSP on the issuance of CBDC shall be aligned with its policies as overseer of the country's national payments system, as well as emerging developments on CBDC.